we're supposed to do this. We're supposed to do things and work together as a team. It makes everything a lot easier for each other to be successful. So on the board, if you notice what I say, you must find your own path to success before you can teach someone else how to find theirs. Now, what that simply means is before you can give anybody anything that they want or that you want to give them or you want them to have, you have to possess it first. You actually have to have the ability to buy a car for someone you want to have a car. Or in other words, you need to know how to get out and buy the car before you can tell someone that doesn't have one what they would need to do in order to buy one. Simple as that. The other part I talk about is don't think about triumph if you're afraid of failure. If you are afraid to fail at something before you even begin it, then you've already lost. You have already lost. There's no point in even trying to do it now because you're already afraid. You're afraid of something that hasn't even happened yet. That's what a lot of us do. A lot of us are afraid of things because they're not normal for us. Well, success is not normal for a failure. It's not. If all you have ever done in your life is fail, then you're not used to success. If someone has only succeeded in everything they've ever done and have never failed at anything, then they're set up for a rude awakening. Especially if something was always given to him or her. A lot of people want people to have these great lives. Children, friends, family. You just want everybody to be happy and do whatever it is that they say they want to do. You want them to do it. You want to see them succeed. But most of the time, when somebody is not successful, it's because they don't really want to be successful. They want to be, a lot of times, told and led by someone else. It's no different than when you're in a classroom setting and a teacher asks a question. What's 10 times 8? And somebody's not comfortable saying 80. They wait for one of the classmates to say 80. They look at the person that they know probably knows it. And that just instills more confidence in the person you looked at. Because when people know in the classroom, everyone knows who the smartest person in the classroom is. It doesn't take long for students to know that. And this is this girl's subject here. We're in science. She's going to answer all the questions. I can't wait till math class. Well, you're the best in English, so we know when we get in English, you're going to spell words like nobody's business, punctuate sentences, and carry on. It's just something that we know. Just as everyone knows, if I get someone in front of me and we're speaking about CTAC, the chances are not just good, they're great. Well, the reason why is even if you don't believe in CTAC the way I do, all you need to believe in is me. If you get somebody in front of me, you don't really have to worry about how much belief you have in CTAC. You just need to believe that I'm going to be what I need to be every single time. This is what happens when you impress people. This is what happens when you are the best at what you do. You don't have to act. You don't have to try to pretend that you're something you're not. You just be the best you can be. Don't you worry about what I think. Worry about what you think of you. Are you the best? Can you truly look yourself in the mirror and say, I've given my best today? Don't lie, because the person in the mirror knows. You can say that to anybody you want to say it to, but the person in the mirror knows if you've truly given all you have to give today. Because if you're not tired, if you're not spent, if you're not like, I can't talk to another person after this, you have more to give. And you see why, how amazing is it that you're hearing somebody that makes over $400 million and he says the same thing as me. He fills the room a little better than me because he's more known for what he does. I'm still growing into whatever I'm going to become. But truthfully, how much different is that talk that you heard for the 16 minutes and what I do with you guys on Fridays, every single Friday? Not much difference, is it? I tell you guys, work for knowledge, not for money. Money's not going to make you happy. Don't I say that? The truth is, he didn't teach me that. This is my first time seeing this part. Oh yeah, I've watched him over the years. But this is my first time seeing that. And I knew, look what I wrote on the board without even realizing. I said, don't think about triumph if you're afraid of failure. Didn't he say something similar? Mm-hmm. Don't be like everybody else. Don't I say that? Be you. It's easy to say what somebody expects of you. Mm-hmm. But it's irrelevant. Because all that truly matters is what you expect from you. Exactly. It's always said to me I used to really take it as an insult. I don't anymore, but I used to take it as an insult when people say, he wants me to live up to his standards. My sister said that to me. I can't be him. But if you truly ask my sister, if you truly were to ask her the question, what was the day and the time that your brother said you need to live up to his expectations and his standards? If she were to tell you the truth, she'd have to say he never did. That was her own emotion that said that she wasn't living up to my expectations. Because truth of the matter is, who can live her life? Only her. So what difference does it make what I think? One day, someone will stand on a stage and do exactly what he just did for Lance Armstrong, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, the Walton family. Maybe not on the same level, and that's irrelevant as well. But people will say he defied all odds against him. There's not one thing that any of y'all can say about me. There's nothing that y'all can say about my life that was easy. It came easy. Nothing. And just because you see me now capable of doing anything I choose to, it doesn't mean it was always like that. I was born in negativity. I was raised in negativity. My father and mother couldn't even stand to look at each other, let alone come and sit down together. Every excuse to fail, I had it. People were jealous of me because I was lighter. Or jealous of me because I would smile and play. They would think everybody gives me everything. All I needed was a football in a front or backyard or street that was a little quieter than most. And I turned it into an entire football game. Played every position by myself. I didn't need no friends around me. I didn't need to go knock on nobody's door. Hey, can you come out and play? Can you do that? I didn't do that. They came to my house and asked if I can come out and play. You really want to know why? It's no different than what I just taught you here. This is maximizing your resources. You talk to one and you end up with 4. Do you really need to hear Mr. Tony Robbins? That's my guy. Don't get me wrong. But do you really? I heard, oh yeah, That's what people do. He's not me. People have me every day. And all I get sometimes, and most of the time, is arguments. Disappointments. But I'm still here. You can touch me. You can't touch him. Doesn't take anything away because I love him to pieces. I learn from him. But you don't want a college professor to come back and teach first grade. no more than you want a first grade teacher to go teach a college university. Still education, much different level. The University of Life, you need someone that has found a path. If you have not found a path that makes you successful, then what gives you the right to tell someone else how to become successful?
You can't.
You can't, because you don't even know yourself. If we spend less time worrying about what we don't have, what we don't see, who's not around, and more time paying attention to what we do have, who is here, we will all be successful. The only thing that will matter or be yet to see is to what level. Not whether or not you're going to be successful, but to what level. You heard him say, leaders. Now that's a leadership training. So there's not a lot of people there that actually work for other people. These are people that are bosses that are in that room. These are leaders, managers, and stuff like that, right? But you heard him say, the best leaders are the ones who forge their own paths. They're not the ones that always wait to follow somebody. How many times have I been told, and we don't even have to go about the stories that you know about my life, but just since we've all been together, the three of us especially, right? How many times have someone said, we weren't going to make it. He's not going to be able to do this. He's going to have to go back to the timeshares. Right?
Yep.
And what has it done every time I've heard it? It fueled me. It made me push harder. It wasn't the ones who rah, 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 shish, boom, bah. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not all the ones that's Team Edwards.
Right.
It's the ones who say, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. Now, what you wanna do is, you look at the person that says you're not gonna make it, and then you ask yourself this question. Do I wanna be like you? Am I impressed by you, your life? If the answer is no, take the words and put them in your fuel tank. Because one day, you're going to need that fuel. You're going to need something else to burn. And it's not going to be your own. Your own is going to be spent. You're going to be weak and tired. You're going to want to give up. On whatever it is, you're going to get frustrated. I'm tired of this. That's when you got to call on that one. You got to turn something that was negatively said to you in the past into positive strength and motivation. That's motivation. There's the difference between the inspiration and motivation. The motivation is on what you tell me I cannot do. What you think I'm not smart enough to do. What you think I'm not big enough to do. What you think I'm not talented enough to do. If you feel like I can't be a leader, then go ask those that follow me. You see, the trick is not just to become successful, everybody. That's not the trick. That's just one element. The trick is to see how many people you can make successful. That's my goal. With me, or you hate me. I always tell people, don't hate me because you ain't me. Right? Just do better. Instead of using it as motivation, they start wanting to set me up. They start wanting to get me in trouble, do stuff. That's just. But you know what? I was so busy doing what I need to do, I couldn't. I was oblivious to it. And that was all the way back in 2000. Because my mother was still alive. I was focused. Not on the money. Money just happened to come with it. I was focused on being the best. That's it. I wanted my mother to hear her son's name. on stage, which I can now show you, as the best, period. That was a promise I made to my mother when I was 14. God allowed me, He graced me, He blessed me with the ability to see it through. But what has to come with the skill set that He gave me to do it? Determination. Courage. Courage to look in the face of adversity at its worst. Sleep in a car. I didn't have to sleep in that car. I could have went back to Philly and none of us would have known each other. None of us would have known each other because I would have went back to Philly and something bad probably would have happened to me, but whatever it would have been, it wouldn't have been here. Or I can stick it out. I remember people say, I don't want to hear that. You only talk about sleeping in the car and this and that. You know what? You think I enjoy telling that story? There's a reason that I tell that story to you. People gave me excuses about that too. You know what they said? Well, it's easy for you to sleep in the car. You didn't have any kids. Well, I also didn't have anyone to talk to. So if I had a child, maybe I would at least have somebody to talk to. Maybe I would have had somebody to look at it and say, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go get something else. I'm going to go wash some cars. I'm going to go do something to get you out of this weather.
Nobody would want to sleep in the car.
No. Why is that okay for somebody to... that's been said to me. Oh, my sister said it. I mean, I'm serious. The people who say things like this to me, I don't want nothing to do with the way they live. I don't want to live nothing like that. I had to learn that for myself because it used to bother me. When someone would say why I'm successful or why this happened, why I was able to do this. Well, you took your mom to President's Club because you weren't married. Your wife wouldn't have it. No, she may not have, but you know what would have happened? I would have had 2 dates. That's a simple fix, isn't it? I don't care if the resort said we're not paying for her. I would have paid for her. She's coming. She's coming. That's what would have happened. Does anybody have anything? Anybody have any questions? I will say this, and we can end it now, we don't have to be so long with it, but pay attention to detail. You guys hear me say this all the time. Pay attention to what you're doing. Do not hit send to anything or send out something without proofreading it. Just focus. Focus. Don't misspell people's names. Don't leave numbers out on phone numbers. Read stuff back. It's okay to say, let me read this back to you. This is what I did last night. I'm just going to do it right. Just change yourself. I ain't on Facebook. Not personally. And I never will be. I can promise you that. I will never have a personal Facebook. That's not to knock any of y'all that have it. I'm not knocking you. But personally, and I saw someone's Facebook last night, and it had a picture of some really good food that they cooked. But I could care less. I'm serious. That's the kind of stuff, I don't need to go on Facebook and see what you have for dinner. I can't taste it. What if I'm hungry and I'm on Facebook and I see that? It ain't doing enough for me.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you what I would like. And it's not, I'm serious, y'all. I'm never going to knock Facebook. It is what it is. But I'm too busy. I'm not going to sit here and have casual conversation online when I have casual conversation on the phone, in person, and everything. I'm trying to get myself somewhere. I'm trying to get myself somewhere. And I know that I'm on limited time, borrowed time to get there. I don't know when my last day will be here. But I tell you one thing. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about it because I'm too busy getting up. Too busy living. Don't worry about it. Esther Hunt.
Esther is just ridiculous.
But just know, y'all, just know that together we can build anything we want. As an isolated individual, yeah, things are hard. Things are hard. You know, I can look at you guys, but I can't see behind me. If you guys are looking at me, you can see behind me. You can tell me if something I ran in here right now. I wouldn't know. You have to tell me. The same thing as I would be able to tell you what's behind you. That means we have each other's back. That's how you have each other's back. When you go and stand behind somebody like this, I see this way, she see that way, we got each other's back. Only if she's willing to tell me something's coming. we may have to turn because it might be something I need to face. But we're only going to turn if we're back to back. Because if I turn and she's facing that and I'm facing that, something come behind us. You see?
Yeah.
That's why you always see people say, when they're getting into it, I mean, this is something you had to learn up north. I'm sorry, I don't know if it happens all over, but I know it happens up north. When you get into a gang situation or any type of jump type of fight, and people always say, man, you jumped him. And you know, I've been jumped before. I don't have a glass eye or, you know, real big legions, and I'm not the strongest guy in the world. But what you have to do is have intelligence to know how you deal with a jump situation.
Exactly.
You back yourself up to a wall. Why?
So that no one else can get back.
Right. It's different when you do this. Now you still looking, but now you only have about 270. You know, a 90 to 270 radius here. That's it. All this. There's some geometry right here. And you put your hands together, and as they come in, you punch with all your might. Don't let them get hold of you. Punch. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever you gotta do. But that's how you gotta deal with life too. Because problems come at you like that too. And you know what people do? They let it circle them, and then they do this. And sit there. How's that gonna end? You know what I mean? That ain't gonna end well. They're gonna beat you till they're tired. And then the other people are gonna come in and start beating you. So you stop breathing. That's what life will do to you. That's what life will do. Life will keep kicking, punching, and elbowing you until you stop breathing. But it takes out the cowards first. Separate the weak from the strong. That's what lions do when they chase the wildebeest. They're not necessarily looking for the ones in the front. They're not looking for them. They're looking for the ones who lag behind. Whether they're old, whether they're hurt, or whether they're babies. That's the one they want. Huh? Right?
Yeah.
Alright, so nobody has any questions other than that. This is where we're at, y'all. Just use your creative juices. Don't worry about, did you do this? I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that. But I am going to show you what I'm talking about as far as building. Let's do it together. Because if all of us decide this is what we're going to do, guess what? We got way more at the buffet, don't we?
Yep.
We got way more dishes to eat.